Hey, boys.
Hey,
Hey, boys.
didn't think you'd hear us this week, did you?
Back then, boys didn't want me. Now I'm hot, boys all on me.
I was gonna say the funny thing is that we're recording this through Zoom because
Yeah.
we're quarantini boys.
Quarantines.
Yeah, so we were trying to play around with like the virtual background, and I got a very Mike Jonesy vibe coming off Gerald when he was showing. He looked like he got some ice in his grill.
When I did the background
Yeah,
thing,
yeah. And I was
shining,
like, shit.
shining.
Yeah.
It was blue diamonds.
Yeah, blueberries,
Just the
iceberg,
pink lemonade, pink panther,
iceberg Simpson over here.
iceberg Simpson, Carlos Leon. All right, boys, let's introduce ourselves to the world.
Hey, boys, welcome. We're out at Wine Boys Pod on Instagram and Twitter. That's Wine Boys Pod on Instagram and Twitter. WineBoysPod@gmail.com for your silly suggestions of wine, all of your different things. We're sober. Well, I can't really say we're sober boys this week. We are recovery boys. We're in the recovery room this week.
Recovery boys.
Yeah. So
Daddy had an episode.
Daddy,
he needs to dry out for a little bit.
Yeah, Danny had an episode, and let's just say, we got a pay alimony. But
yep,
we'll figure it out. You get off the train one time, and everybody freaks out.
Yep.
One fentanyl overdose. I'm at the Zach Edward on Instagram and Twitter. That's the Zach Edward on Instagram and Twitter. Go check out my Instagram. Posted some info about what's going on in my life, kind of what's going on in life in general, and just kind of trying to keep things brutally honest. I think brutally honest is good. Like to keep things straightforward. I'm all about keeping things funny, light, and airy like a Twinkie when I can. But sometimes you gotta just let it out.
Yeah, boys, you can find me on the Twitters and the Instagrams. I didn't hear that one.
Okay.
At Lord Gerald. Boys, we have an interesting show in store for you tonight. It's a little different than normal, but after the break, you're going to hear us dive right into the shits, all right? Love you. Hi, I'm Gerald.
And I'm Zach.
And we are the Wine Boys. 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low, because Mike Jones is about to blow. Before the ice was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these hoes ain't give a damn if I was here. Chia.
Preach, sermon.
Ooh, Jesus. You remember that
sermon.
Shit was hitting.
Sermon.
Ooh. You remember that shit was hitting in like ninth grade?
It really was.
Yeah.
It made me want to get a grill. Everything about 2000 and what was that? Probably 2006? 2004.
Like 4 or 5 in there.
0405. That was the dirty South era. So you got a lot of grills, a lot of big rims, spinning rims, dubbed out Cadillacs.
Yeah, I mean that was specifically Houston.
And they're not Cadillacs on 24s. They're Cadillacs on 20,000. So you should get it right.
Wow.
We don't say Fords. Yeah.
Are you just affecting some sort of accent over there?
It's 20,000. It's not 24s.
You sure about that? I feel like you're taking on some manner of speech that's just not,
What do you
not
mean?
You. Huh?
I'm not doing anything. It's just how it is.
I don't know.
And then what if it's 22s? It's not 22s. It's 22s.
You're doing the equivalent of like what middle-aged white dudes do when they're like, you mean 50 Cent?
I wanted you to catch on to my Ebonics I got going on over here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I speak.
I'm just trying to keep.
fluently.
Listen, I'm just trying to keep it trill for my homies, dog. So.
Well, yeah, I'm turning 30 now. You've already crossed that great 30 barrier.
Yeah, not much has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm turning 30 this Saturday. So
Your
like
car insurance premiums go down. That's fun.
that's cool. I like that. But yeah, so
That
I'm
shit's
like,
cool.
what am
Yeah.
I gonna do? I gotta shake things up. I'm gonna get a tattoo, buy a gun, might even get some gold teeth. Why?
You should get a grill.
I should get gold teeth. Like 100%, like a full just
Full set.
mouthful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, full set. Like I'll usually just wear the bottoms, but every now and then I pull out like the full set. Just
Yeah.
not like cut my nuts and like,
So you can be like, "How was your 30th birthday?" But like, how damn my 30th birthday was.
yeah. Like, oh
Clean.
my God. But here's the thing is you'd also have to get a set of grills. You'd also have to get a grill.
I would. I want diamonds though.
You want diamonds?
Of course
I want
diamonds.
like the all gold one. I don't
No, I want
necessarily want
diamonds.
the diamonds.
No.
Yeah.
I want diamonds. I want that shit to look like, I want it to be seen from space. Like I want it to be like blue diamonds. I want something like really, really aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for me, the diamonds are a little too razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
I feel like when you see some with like diamonds in their teeth, it's like, like this is the flashy guy, the showy guy. But I feel like when you see a guy with like gold teeth, it's like this guy might steal your car.
Yeah.
Like
he seems like a businessman.
like gold teeth is like, this is an aggressive move. Like diamonds is like he's flashy and he wants to, like show off his wealth. Gold teeth is like he takes those out, he might not have teeth. Like that's my rationale.
These are a distinct possibility. These are just gold dentures, and it's just like
yeah.
And it's
like these are false teeth.
Yeah, he seems approachable, but he also seems incredibly dangerous when he takes those teeth out.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna gum my ass to death.
Yeah. Well, even then, like, but that can't be totally true, though. I mean, so you know how Kanye has like the 4 on the bottom that are all diamonds? Those are permanent.
Yeah, those are real.
Yeah, like he got those 4 teeth pulled, and then he had them put in those 4 like diamond teeth. I know Kanye is an interesting subject, and we'll get into him later. But first, we got to get into
Kanye ripping out perfectly good teeth to put in diamond teeth. No,
it wasn't an indicator of anything.
Sensible Kanye.
Well, also though, he's a rapper, and rappers do rapper shit. So like, that's actually sane.
That's the most ill shit he could have thought of at the time.
I mean, what year was this when he did that? Like
04, 05?
No, that was around My Beautiful. I want to say that was around like 09, maybe 2010. I got to look it up. But yeah, I know those are permanent though. But first, we got to get into the wine and what we're doing here.
Okay.
So,
all right,
pulling it up, Boo Boo?
Yeah, so we're not drinking. Yeah, we ain't drinking this week, but because for medical reasons, I cannot consume alcohol at this time. So what we decided to do, we wanted to spice things up a little bit on the podcast and give you guys a little bit more content. Content is key here. So we decided we wanted to look for like fascinating stories that involved wine and war in American history. So I found some of these stories on the internet, and I thought they were very interesting, and I wanted to share them with the boys. So, when you go to your next gala or event of some sort, you can go in and say, well, did you know that in the Mexican-American War in 1846, so-and-so did this to so-and-so, and what do you know, the natives got something else stolen from them.
Whoa.
Whoa. Believe it or not, it wasn't the Native Americans, it was actually the Mexicans this time. Yeah. And then you can tell all your white friends, and they'll be like, I am astonished and shocked and awed.
Most indubitably.
Is there a statue of this man we can take down? So that's basically where we're at right now. So I read this story. I found this to be fascinating because I do truly love. So I love history, but I love personal anguish of history. So like if something is being like taken away or destroyed, it's my favorite part of history. I don't know what it is, but it's just like they stole that man's land. It's like, how much land did they take? Did they take it all? But So I read this story about the Mexican-American War and how there were vineyards in El Paso that actually were basically there for the taking. And during the war between the Mexican and Americans, there was this what they considered to be 200,000 gallons a year in a vineyard for winemaking. And it basically what happened is they weren't able to come to a peaceful reconciliation for the land, and the wine went dry. And it went 200,000 gallons of it.
Of wine went dry.
So the story goes that...
Wait. So quick question. How long does it take for wine to go dry, like in a barrel?
No, this is wine that's just in the vineyard. So they're basically saying the quantity that could have been produced is over
so the grapes went dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the grapes died, essentially. The vines died. So the whole story goes is, are you familiar with Alexander William I think it's Donovan?
He had something to do with the Mormons, right?
He did have something to do with the Mormons. So you likely know him as the man who prevented the execution of Joseph Smith.
That sounds right.
Okay, so, little textbook reading there. So Donovan also was a celebrated colonel in the United States Army, and assisting in a number of important campaigns during the Mexican-American War in 1848, which included the capture of Santa Fe. During this long march to the Southwest, he passed through El Paso, Texas. The vineyards and troops they encountered in El Paso were fascinated by the fact that one man serving in his unit said there was wine that was being produced there that was known as pass wine, and it was renowned throughout the region, saying that it was plentiful and could actually produce up to 200,000 gallons of wine per year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of wine.
That's a lot of wine.
So this is awesome map here. That's basically, I'm sorry, I said Santa Fe, not El Paso, Texas. I meant El Paso, like in a part of the Rio Grande. So there's this strip of land that basically runs from Santa Fe to the Rio Grande, and all of it was grapes. A majority of it, like as far as like 4 to 5 miles. Jesus. And they said that they believed that when the war was over, that Americans would try to displace the Mexicans and build canals to transport the region's wine north, as it believed to be, quote, a superior and rich flavored wine that had a better palateness of taste to anything that was ever found in the United States. So what basically happened is they sent a proposal for settlement and canal building to the War Department, and the plea apparently fell on deaf ears. And then decades later, a federal official passed that through El Paso, he was able to find only a few vineyards on the American side of the Rio Grande, and that the Mexican vineyards in Ciudad Juarez are in a state of decline currently. So what basically the story says is that if we actually were able to have a peaceful conversation with somebody, we would be able to produce tons of wine from a region that's literally right down in the northern part of Mexico.
Really? And apparently this could have been settled in like wine.
They said of taste, color, and consideration, it's as if you're drinking Bordeaux from France.
Wow. Yeah. And this was just naturally growing.
Yep.
On
the Rio Grande. Yep.
And this wine produces almost as much wine as we've drank on this podcast. Like these grapes gallons. That's close to about what we've drank on this podcast over the last couple of years.
But the thing is, though, is that typical American fashion, big dick flexing, they're just like, yeah, you know what? This seems like
burn it down.
Yeah, let's light it on fire.
Yeah. Just destroy it all. Let it die.
Let's set this shit ablaze. We got to get to the Alamo. We got to fuck that up, too.
Yeah.
It's all of that. It's just dick flexing. The thing is, though, is that they did follow protocol and like went to like the office of the embassy and was like, yeah, we don't want to take it from them. We just like to take some, and we'd like to see if we could like maybe agree upon it. And we're just they're like, who the fuck wants wine? Yeah, let's go out west. Let's steal that gold.
Which is even crazier, though, is who knows what kind of varietals of grapes were there.
Probably in that area, mostly red. But I mean, like, just because of how the weather is, it's dry.
Yeah.
But also you also get some of like the wind,
Mm-hmm.
the wind and the currents coming from the Rio Grande. So you kind of get the perfect storm.
But what I'm
You
saying
get
though is
dry
like
yet subtly wet.
there could have been a very specific varietal of grape that is probably been lost forever because they just let it go.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck that. We don't need it.
Yeah, fuck that. And this might have been the most magical wine grape ever.
Yeah.
So it's
amazing.
gone now. Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America.
So that's one of those situations where we definitely could have won the war.
Yeah. Yeah.
We lost the battle on that one for sure.
Yeah. But we've got other things going on in life.
Yes, we do.
Zach, you've been through an ordeal that you talked about last week on the podcast.
I did a little bit. So, well, it happened. What had happened was.
What had happened was.
So last Thursday, I had a scheduled. This was a scheduled procedure for a couple of weeks now. Mm-hmm. So it was something I was planning on having done. So what was supposed to be happening was I was going to get a elastomy bag put in. So basically, what they're doing is they would, for the scientists in the room, for the scientific boys, they would essentially be just like shutting off like the lower half of my digestive system. So running my small intestine that would take the poo and put it into the bottom half of your body. They'd basically just take that part and they put it into this bag that they cut out and they put into your abdomen. And basically it promotes healing kind of from the inside out. And you just use the bag to go to the bathroom. So that was supposed to be for like 6 months. And I was like, you know what? I've had other surgeries before. This seems like a decent enough option. So we were going in for surgery. Before I was about to go in, like literally 10 minutes before, the doctor was like, yeah, man, like I'm going to be honest with you. Like kind of based on what I'm seeing, like I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm like, okay. Well, you going to try? He's like,
and this is
like,
10 minutes before you go into surgery.
Like okay. The precedent was set that like there's this possibility that this was not going to happen.
Okay.
Just because of how bad everything was. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, you're going to try at least, right? He goes, I'm going to try. But if it ain't happening, I'm not going to keep trying. And I'm like, all right. So, okay. Cool.
The doctor did the equivalent of, he went to the fridge, he looked around, and he was like,
He's like, there ain't nothing in the fridge.
He was like, I was gonna make this steak, but we're just gonna scramble some eggs tonight, bud. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, somebody forgot to take the steaks out of the freezer, so we got to figure something else out.
Fuck. Yeah. They're just not thawing. This one's kind of. I'm not feeling it, man. We're just gonna scramble some eggs.
Yeah, we're gonna scramble.
Eggs are good, right?
Yeah, we're gonna scramble your eggs. So I was like, okay. I was like, I was like, I was kind of whatever for it. So, I go in for the surgery, and apparently it does not look good in there. From everything that I've been told. So, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. So what happens? So they scrapped the ileostomy plan because it's just not going to work. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. I mean, obviously I'm asleep right now, so I don't know what the fuck is going on. They could be tossing my salad for all I know.
They might have eaten.
They probably did. My butt was a little sore afterwards, but I was under. So what they did originally. So what in these surgeries? So instead of doing an ileostomy, they do something called a resection, which in plain terms basically means they take the bad stuff out of your intestines and then they put the good parts back together. Mm-hmm. It's like a pipeline. So basically, if there's a leak in the pipeline, you fix it.
Yeah.
So you get rid of the old pipeline, and you just put 2 and 2 together.
Okay. So they cut, and then they sew it back together?
Correct.
Okay.
And they kind of put like a barrier in there to keep it all. And then like new like healthy tissue and stuff kind of grow around it. It's science.
Yeah. Science.
So what happened is they usually try to do these procedures laparoscopically, which is like a robotic surgery. So it's a new surgery they've been doing for a little while now, where they basically make like 3 little incisions and take everything out kind of like through these like robotic tubes, which are it's just easier and it's less invasive, and causes, less recovery time and so on and so forth. Well,
Mhm.
what happened was I was actually way worse than they thought. When he got in there, he was just like, well, I kind of thought it was bad, but it was like so much fucking worse than I thought. So what happened was they found about a foot worth of straight up like diseased area that needed to come out.
A foot.
A foot.
Like
Yep,
a $5.
like a $5 foot long's worth of small intestine. So he gets in there, he goes, well, bad thing is that this is too much small intestine for me to take out laparoscopically. So my dude had to cut me down Main Street.
Woo!
So he had to cut me right across the belly button.
Which
And
obviously they don't know these sort of things until they get.
No, this isn't like I'm gonna cut this guy up. Like
no. But they can't really tell that until they actually get in there.
Get in there.
So it basically
So once he got in there, he was like, "Fuck." It's like, "Fuck, homie." So he did what he had to do. So instead of having the ileostomy and then the resection, or instead of the resection done laparoscopically, I had a full resection done au naturel.
Ooh.
So yeah, cut me like a Thanksgiving turkey, and they took out a foot of my small intestine, and then put it back together afterwards. So the long and short of it, so the for that is a little longer. What I can tell you is, like, when I got out of surgery and I started coming to, the fucking agonizing pain I was in, undescribable how bad it was. I was just like, hey guys, I don't know if you guys know what's going on here, but I literally feel like somebody stabbed me and took out my insides. And they're trying to feed me like Tylenol. And I'm like, dog, I don't think you get it. Like, I was
give that to my baby.
Yeah, I was just like, we're feeding this to children. I was like, I just had, unbeknownst to me, I like cut up. Like, I didn't realize it until I'm like being told by the doctor. And mind you, I'm like still half in the bag from the anesthesia. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
So he's trying to explain to me what he did, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I could, like, you could, like, you could tell me anything else. You could read me War and Peace. I would listen to nothing. You could play me my favorite music. You can give me my favorite food. I could give a fuck if you're alive right now. This is how bad I'm in pain right now. So finally, they were just like, we got to give him something. So they finally gave me a little bit of fentanyl. And whew,
big drip.
Better. Oh God, big drip.
Big drip.
I walk around with a big limp now. It was fantastic. So, and it was great because, like, I was agonizing, and then they hit me with it, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then, like, the nurse came over, she goes, "Are you better?" And I'm like, I am so much better right now. I was like, I can't even tell you whatever magic potion you just did. So they said, yeah. So they're like, we ordered you a fentanyl drip in the hospital. I'm like, oh, thank fucking God. Oh gosh, like I was like, if I were a junkie, I would have just hit the jackpot. Like, I was just so happy. Oh my God.
Listen, dude, fentanyl's magical shit.
It's like it's literally, it is like synthesized morphine.
Stronger.
It's synthesized. It's basically like, you know how like MDMA is the purest form of ecstasy?
Yeah.
Fentanyl is the purest form of morphine.
Oh, it's not even there. No, fentanyl doesn't come from morphine.
It doesn't, but like, that's probably the best way I could describe it.
It's I'll put it this way. When you hear about someone, which for the uninitiated boys, when you hear about somebody overdosing on heroin, most likely it was cut with fentanyl. Like, and that's the fentanyl is what killed them.
It is a stage. It's considered a stage 1 narcotic, right?
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1. Sorry, stage 1. Schedule 1 narcotic. Yeah.
Yeah. But so
and they're just giving that to. Yeah, and they're just giving that to you at your local everyday hospital.
So my wife, like, when she motherfucker, when she went to labor, had the baby, they gave her an epidural, and I saw the guy come in. they were gonna do the drip. They had to put the needle in through her back, and whew, I saw the thing, big red letter. It said fentanyl on it. They put it in her back, and she like, having contractions and labor pains and all that. And within a couple of minutes, she just, whew, and then she laid down on the bed.
Yeah, you get real
she
comfortable.
was just like,
I was like, you feel better, right?
Yeah, and like Travis, she looked like she was floating. Just Travis Scott's song started making sense. Just
I am floating.
Oh man, yeah. So I could see that. I mean, here's the thing though about like hard drugs is, I would absolutely love to try them, like the real hard shit. But I'm afraid though that like it's gonna be too good.
Yeah, that's my issue.
Yeah, especially you hear stories about like heroin addicts like coming on themselves when they get high and shit like that. Like,
yeah, I was like, that sounds fucking awesome.
It's that good? Jesus.
Yeah. It's not an issue with me with drugs about like I'm scared. I think I'm gonna like these too much.
Exactly. That's what I'm scared of. Is I'm gonna like this so much that I'm willing to suck a dick.
Aren't you afraid of needles and stuff? And I'm just like, dude, I've been shooting myself up with like medicine for my entire life. I ain't scared of that shit.
I mean, I haven't, but I'm just a sick fuck.
I'm just gonna like it way too much.
Exactly. That's what I'm scared of, is enjoying it. Like, when I see that dude like standing in front of the Burger King with a sign and his head is about this close to the ground because he's nodding out as he's standing there panhandling, I'm like, bro's on a trip right now. Just he's ready to blast off. He is blasting off. Dude is in orbit. Just
he's he's in orbit right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He just saw the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude is cruising past Venus. Like,
yeah, he's on his way to Mars as we speak. Like, it's just, but the thing is though, so like, so they gave me the button. So it's not like, they're not high dosing me. It's like little, like 2 mils like at a time. Like, it's not a lot. But it's like, so the way that they described it, they're like, yeah, so you're going to be like in really intense pain for like the first day. So they got me up to my room. I had to share the way all hospitals are basically said, even in the era of COVID, you still have to share a room
because the my roommate was a 90-year-old. That's why.
Yeah, my roommate was a 90-year-old man that after coming out of anesthesia forgot where he was and thought his wife was in the next room. Ooh. So he was hallucinating a lot. So they had to strap him to the bed and put a bed alarm on him. That was fun.
Wow.
I was waiting for one of the nights for me to like wake up and he would be like spooning another one of the patients in another room. and he'd be like, Diane. His wife was definitely named Diane because he kept saying, Diane. I was like, I feel bad. This guy's so old. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm thinking like one night, the bed alarm went off 9 times one night. Jesus. I think it was like the night after my surgery. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to stay up and watch TV. I'm going to let him just like do what he needs to do. But like every couple of minutes he'd get up and he would just be like, Diane. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
So he'd get out of bed. Hey, Diane.
Yep.
Diane.
Try to. And then
try to get out of bed. Diane.
Yeah, the bed alarm would go off, and then people would rush in and bum rush him, and they'd be like, "Sir, you need to get in bed." And he's just like, "I need to go see my wife. She's not in bed right now."
So like, this guy clearly, because at this point, this is like a day later, so this man clearly has like dementia. Or is
I don't think it's because like it's funny because like during the day he was like incredibly coherent.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's dementia. I just think they like gave him some pain pills and stuff, and his old brain is like, we don't know how to articulate this.
Like, his jalopy brain started misfiring.
Yeah, they're just like, I think this is peanut butter, right? It's like, no, that's just butter. Like, don't put your head in that. Like,
I'm gonna spread this on some Ritz crackers and eat it.
Yeah. He pissed the bed a couple times. It was terrible, but it was just because he got mad because he couldn't get out of bed. So I think he was like protesting.
Oh, he pissed the bed.
I think like that was his version of protesting. Like,
who does that benefit?
yeah, so instead of like taking a knee,
piss
he's
my
taking a
own
piss.
bed.
Like,
and then I gotta like wait for a
Nobody.
nurse to come, so I just gotta lay in it.
I know. That's what I was thinking for this poor nurse. I was like, he's gonna piss the bed again, you know.
Yeah,
I was like, once a bedwetter, always a bedwetter. He did it like 3 more times.
Here's the thing: is you're a nurse. Like you've got a stomach made of iron. You just put on some gloves, change the sheets, whatever.
Yeah.
In fact, even though the nurses don't do it, the nurses' aides do it.
Yeah, for the most part. The nurse's aide was like really pissed at one point, and I was like, yeah, he keeps pissing the bed. Obviously, he's going to keep pissing the bed. Like,
of course.
Can somebody please like put a pad down? Like,
yeah, but like, eventually it'll get to a point where they just stop giving him water, so he doesn't piss the bed anymore.
They had to feed him water because of the type of procedure he had.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, because he can get like, severely dehydrated. So they're like,
a little sponge.
There you go.
That's it. There you go, buddy.
Yeah. So my whole thing with like the fentanyl. So they gave me the drip, but like I was really killing it the first day.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, I never got to the point where I was like, I think floating, but I was like, at one point my nurse came in and she's like, how are you feeling? I was like, I can see why people get addicted to this shit.
Uh-huh.
She goes, I know. She goes, it is really good. And I was just like, you want some?
I'll take a hit of this real quick.
She's like, nope, this is all for you. And I'm like, oh, this is, yeah. I ended up going through I think I went through like 3 vials, which is like the equivalent of like taking it twice a day. Okay. So I was like, all right. So I didn't take like a ton, but my last day, like my second to last day in the hospital, they were taking me off of it. They were switching me to oral pain meds. Mm-hmm. And my nurse came in and she's like, all right, so we're going to take this off. Do you want to do it again? I'm like, I can hit this one more time. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, because my pain was getting like more tolerable. And I was like, I'm going to hit this one more time. I can't just let it go to waste. Yeah. Man. So I hit it one more time and I was like, this is good. I said, my baseline is good right now. Yeah, it was just, it really was. It's just like even to like talking to you right now, like I'm having some like stomach pain and like I'm going to have to take some Oxycontin when we get done with this. Like,
sick.
Yeah. But they gave me so little because, you know, they don't want to create a, you know, narcotic, you know, an opioid addict here. Right. So, you know, they give me so little that I supplement it with Tylenol.
Right,
so I'm taking like 5 milligrams of Oxy, which is literally nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the equivalent of like really strong Tylenol.
Yeah.
But it takes the edge off. That's all I'm looking for. Take the edge off.
I feel like fentanyl, like if you take a good amount of fentanyl, it feels like
sorry.
I thought that was static. That was just your butt cheeks clapping.
Round of applause.
No, but I feel like a good hit in fentanyl feels like that song Blue Pill by Travis Scott and Metro Boomin. You remember that song?
Of course I remember that song.
That's what I imagine like a good hit of fentanyl sounds like. Just the very beginning.
Yeah.
Boys at home, look that song up. And I think you'll understand what I'm saying. Just
like if you hear like just the beginning like drop of Butterfly Effect, that's kind of what it feels like too. Just boom, 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 boom. Like you can kind of feel your heart change a little bit. You're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, what in the fuck is going on? Like most Travis Scott songs, I don't know if I should be afraid for my life or I should really just see what happens.
Yeah. Take the drugs. See what happens.
Yeah. Take the drugs. Feel it.
Yeah. That's the moral of this story. Take the drugs. See what happens.
Take the drugs. Just
if you can't handle it, don't take the drugs anymore.
Yeah, just take the drugs. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Just take the drugs. Ease. Let yourself feel the feelings.
Yeah. Feel the feelings. Take the drugs. See what happens.
That's why I hate people though that like refuse to like get drunk or whatever.
I hate people.
Yeah. No, that's why I hate people though that are like I refuse to ever get drunk. Because like they don't want to lose control. Sometimes you just got to go on the ride and just take it for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is if you have an addictive personality and you just think you're going to go off the rails, like then don't
do it.
I would just, yeah.
But there are people out there.
If you're level-headed enough to just be like if you can get drunk on a Wednesday and show up to work on a Thursday and be productive, like then go ahead.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Yeah, go ahead. But if you're one of those people though that are like, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm out of control.
If that's one of your thoughts, you shouldn't do it.
I think you need to just have that experience one time where just do it and just, let yourself feel. Let yourself go into it.
Like you have feelings, but give yourself like those real feelings, those honest feelings.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to know what you are all about, like take a bottle of wine, just right to your face one night by yourself, get in your feelings a little bit. Try some fentanyl. I mean, just
yeah. Feel the feels. Just let yourself
get a gram of cocaine. Sit by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Hell, maybe explore the dark parts of your mind. You might be surprised what you find.
Yeah.
Feel them. Feel all the feels. Right now, you're kind of see-through, and
I know.
Just see.
I found the perfect way to so if I put my hand like right there, it, like hides there it is. There it is. Look at this motherfucker. My current background on this Zoom call right now is wood. So it's just this. So every time I wave my hand across the screen, it's just this
big old dick.
Oily, girthy dick. Yeah,
big old dick.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Actually, funny enough, it's about how much intestines they took out of me. About a wood's worth of dick.
That's a big old dick.
That's how I'm describing it from now on. Anybody asks me, so your procedure, like how'd it go? They took about a wood's worth of intestines out of me.
Yeah. So
how much is a wood's worth? This.
So
this meaty cock and balls worth.
That's a big old dickums. So anyway, so you got the surgery done. You don't have the ileostomy bag now. So you're still pooping out of your butthole.
You broke up a little bit. Say that again.
I'm sorry. You don't have the ileostomy bag now. So you're still pooping out of the butthole.
No. Yep. I have all bodily functions basically as normal.
Okay.
I just have a foot less bowel.
Yeah. So but you should feel better though now that you've had this surgery, right? Because they basically took the bad shit out of you. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, it's so as far as internal abdominal pain from like the disease and stuff, it's less.
Okay.
Mostly what I'm feeling now is after effects of the procedure. So it's
having a large section of your intestines ripped out of you.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good way to describe it. But you just get really bloaty and just burpy and everything farty.
Yeah.
Basically every gas that can just come to be in your body just fluctuates times 10.
Okay.
So I fart a lot.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Well, but also it's
I'm sorry.
Ooh. Well, also, and you've been farting a lot on this recording. So I'm sure though those farts are gonna probably start to
look
taper
like a heart
off,
monitor of farts. Just
but because of what they had to do, I'm sure you're farting a lot.
Yes. Oh yes.
Are the farts gonna start to taper off?
I hope so, because my life is basically consumed by them. What they do, I'm living in it right now. So
I know.
I have to because I'm propped up. I'm laying down 12 hours throughout the day.
Okay.
And I get up and walk around every so often.
Mm-hmm.
Take my meds and go to the bathroom, do what I got to do.
Yeah.
But it's just But what they do is they have to put gas in your intestines to actually blow them up so they can get to your. But actually, what they do is they put air against your stomach lining, so it kind of balloons it up, so they can get to your small intestines and things like that easier.
Mm-hmm.
So most of that is the leftover gas that was from the surgery, and then all the air that's procreating throughout your body.
Okay, I'm sure it's gonna take a few days for all that to work itself out. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's another one. No, for the boys listening along at home, those feedback farts you're hearing, those are real farts. Zach is really farting right now.
These are not
a lot.
This is not a drill.
No. Zach is really audibly farting on this podcast.
I think that's 7.
Yeah.
We should have a counter. If I had a counter throughout the day, it would be easily over 40.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, you're ripping and running right here. You're farting like it. I want to say it's a good 15 per hour.
Could be. Actually, that's probably that's about the clip I'm at right now.
Yeah. So
15. That's good. It's good hourly
15
rate.
farts per hour.
Healthy.
Yeah. So otherwise, so you should, because I remember like you had a very similar surgery to this when we were in college, when we actually lived together.
Yeah, 2011. I had my first resection surgery.
Yeah,
which
so
was
it was
a lot
9 years
less.
ago.
Yeah, it was a lot
Okay.
less. So what they did, best way I can describe it. So the first time they did the surgery, they took out 12 centimeters of my small intestine.
Oh, really?
And this time they took out 12 inches.
12 inches.
Yeah.
For the boys at home, an inch is bigger than a centimeter.
Yes. We ain't on the metric system here.
Nah, we ain't on that communist bullshit.
So basically it's like the equivalent of like, actually, I don't even know what the direct equivalent is. We probably check that out. What's 12 inches? 12 inches to 12 centimeters.
Let's see. What's cm?
12 inches in centimeters. So 12 inches in centimeters is 30 centimeters. Oh boy!
Holy shit! Well, what's 12 centimeters? Is,
that one almost knocked me over.
It's funny. The mic is picking up all of these.
I can't laugh too much too because it hurts. Oh god! So 12 centimeters is 4.724 inches.
Okay.
So literally 3 times more.
Yeah. So
I've lost 16 inches of small intestine, which is, if you think about it, there's about almost 7 feet in your body.
Yeah.
So I haven't really lost that much, if you really think about it.
No, you haven't lost a ton. It makes your highway a little shorter.
But I've lost. It makes my highway a little shorter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost more than others. That's what I like to say.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
So you have to be more cognizant of what you eat and drink and so on. But right now, my diet, I've been eating a lot of soft foods. I did go. I went off the rails tonight because my brother was like, "I'm buying you dinner," and I'm like, "What are you buying me?" He goes, "A Popeye's chicken sandwich," and I was like, "That's a bad idea. It's a real bad idea."
You guys are gonna have to buy a new couch when you're done.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-wallpaper. I mean, this whole house is fucked. I'm dragging down the market value of my house every time I fart. Like it's just.
Go ahead.
Yeah, everyone's just like, I thought this was a nice neighborhood. It's just like, well, the farter across the street is ruining the ozone layer. So
just like, Jesus Christ. So your farting has actually caused structural damage to this house. Some of these wood beams are starting to rot away. We termites. Like, nah, it's just.
I thought it was termites. It was actually too much methane in the air.
It's just too much methane in the air. We thought
you literally could have powered a vehicle with the amount of farts that you let off in this house.
Listen,
and it could have gone cross country twice.
Yeah, listen, this Toyota Corolla could have made it across town on your farts, bud. Wow,
I'm honored. I'm definitely honored. Thank you, sir. Yeah. But yes, so literally, this is my life now. So I got to take it easy. I'm on the shelf 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so you're off work for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, high ankle sprain type of injury. 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, but you'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Good.
Damn. Yeah, it was rough. It was expected, but also it just did not go exactly according to plan, which is basically my life with Crohn's in a nutshell. Yeah. It's like shit does not go according to plan. Whatever plans you had, change them. Like I'm not a heavy committer anymore.
Okay. It sounds like the doctor first was thinking of going in one direction, and then they get in there and they're just like, no.
Nope, gotta change this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's like. I don't envy anybody that is a like colon rectal doctor. Like I don't know how the fuck they deal with that. Well, to just be like, well, we thought we had to do this, and then it was way more fucked than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, they're dealing with shit that they can't see.
Yeah.
So, you're thinking you're going in one direction, And then you actually get there, and then you see like, holy shit, this 97 Honda Civic is being held together with duct tape and paper clips. Like we can't do that today, buddy. we got to fix this.
Yeah.
So
there's all these renowned surgeons for like orthopedics and stuff like that. And it's mostly because you get it like drummed up because of sports and things like that. I was like, I want to see like more clout being put towards like colon rectal doctors and like the literal shit they have to go through.
Yeah.
Just like those guys are angels.
They're butt angels.
Yeah, they're ass angels.
Ass angels. Assangels.com.
I was gonna say that actually sounds like an anal site.
It does. Assangels.com.
God, stop saying it.
Yeah,
we might have an idea.
That's how they say it though. I could just see my name is Crystal Pepsi, and this is my Crystal Pepsi, and this is my first shoot.
That's the best porn name you go with, Crystal Pepsi.
Top of the dome. What'd you want me to call her?
I don't know. Like,
hey, this is Pretty Midnight.
Yeah,
that's a male stripper name.
Adriana Greco. Like,
yeah, sure. Actually, so when I was at work today, I was joking around with one of the guys. I told him that my male stripper name was what was it? Oh, fuck. It was Mr. Henry. It was Mr. Chocolate Henry. That was my male stripper name.
Why is it Mr. Chocolate Henry?
Just Mr. Chocolate Henry.
What's the origin? What?
Well, at first I was thinking like, the candy bar, O. Henry. You ever heard of this candy bar, O. Henry?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah. Well, at first I was thinking that like O. Henry would be a great like male stripper name. I feel like just the name Henry in general evokes a very big, strong, strapping
man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like my male stripper name, and I thought of like, oh, Henry, which would be like a great male stripper name. But then I was like, but oh, Henry bars are chocolate. I'm a chocolate man. So yeah, Mr. Sexy Chocolate man. Henry. Or just Mr. Chocolate Henry. I felt like that was a good male stripper name.
Dig it. Can we pause real quick?
Yeah, you got poop again?
I might, and I gotta do a couple other things.
Okay. Hey, boys, we're back. So tonight though, I think we need to talk about Kanye West.
We for the sake of the culture.
For the culture, for culture.
We are one with the culture. So we turned you guys on to some like historical wine facts during the Mexican-American War.
Yep.
Just general, medicine.
Yeah. So
what medicine's really like?
What's going on in the world of Yeezy? And
I haven't checked Twitter in about 3 hours.
Okay.
So I'm a little nervous that I missed something.
You know what? Let's get the most up-to-date shit. So basically this starts with Kanye. I want to say, what was it? Monday or Tuesday?
I think it was Monday.
No. It might have been earlier. Anyway, Kanye had it was last week. Kanye had a campaign rally for his presidential run, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Is he really going to run? Who knows?
So there's the West Wing post that was 3 days ago.
Yes. And
then
Kanye, during this press conference, he said some shit. He talked about Harriet Tubman.
Yes, he did. And how she didn't free the slaves.
She didn't free the slaves. She just took them to work for other white people.
Okay. All right.
Interesting way of putting things, but okay.
Yep. A very, very interesting way of putting things.
Not bad. Just different.
As a black man, were you offended by that?
It's See, here's the thing. Here's my relationship with.
You have a complicated relationship with Ye. I was gonna say.
Okay. Kanye West to me is like that, and I've explained this before in a group chat with our friends. Okay, I was a huge fan of Kanye when he first came out, as were you. Big fan.
I still like Kanye.
Kanye's music has been the soundtrack.
I was gonna say really enjoy a pop culture train wreck. Like,
yes.
So this is right up my alley. Like anything that involves, like, for the longest time, my favorite athlete was Johnny Manziel. Not because of his athletic prowess, like, and it wasn't because of his athletic prowess. It's because any chance I got, or any chance that he got to make the news, it was always good.
Oh,
always. Always
good in a wholesome way. Good in a Johnny did a bunch of cocaine and crashed his car. Then he beat up
he said he was gonna crash his Lamborghini and his girlfriend off a cliff in the most whitest statement of all time, saying, "I'll kill us both."
Yeah.
Like, that's what rich white guys say when they've had enough. They drive their cars too fast into a ravine. "I'll kill us both."
God damn it, Caitlin.
"I'll kill us both."
Yes. So that's what So Kanye, though, his music early on in his career meant a lot to me. You know, the man made Spaceship. Okay, shit meant a lot to me. But
college dropout just hit differently.
But let's be honest here. Since his mama died in 2007, Kanye ain't been right. He's been. We know, and as real Kanye fans, the cheese slipped off that man's cracker years ago. We know this.
We're in full-fledged cheese whiz form now.
You know, and then he had a few years back with his St. Pablo tour. He had some interesting rants that got kind of weird. Yeah, he talked about loving Donald Trump, but he didn't vote.
That's weird.
Jay-Z called me, man. Like shit like that on stage.
It was basically like watching a man have like inner dialogue with himself, and then the first thing that popped into his head is the first thing he shouted.
Right. But the thing is that Kanye's been doing those kind of rants on stage for years.
Mostly because his t-shirts weren't selling very well.
Yeah, he's been doing that shit.
Buy my shit.
It didn't get pro-Trump until like 2016. But prior to that, it was just Kanye like ranting about how unfair things are in the music industry. And, you know, they don't want black people to win and shit. And everybody was like, yeah, Kanye. And then it's like, I love Donald Trump because he has dragon energy. And everybody's like, the fuck? And then
what does that mean?
And then you realize like he's going on this tour, like he's extremely stressed out, and then he gets hospitalized for exhaustion. Come to find out he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I'm like, damn, a lot of stuff about Kanye makes sense now. Because you hear stories about him jumping up on tables and yelling at people and shit like that. And you're like, yeah, I've read some of his tweets. This dude, he might be a little off, you know?
Yeah. This isn't a level. Yeah, this isn't a level-minded individual right now.
Well, you remember some of the good old days of Kanye's Twitter account. Fur pillows are hard to sleep on.
Yeah.
And anybody know where I can get a marble conference table? I'm looking to have a conference, but not till I get the table. Like, you remember like some of those
just very like inauspicious, like very easily obtainable tweets.
Yeah.
You know, just like you know where I can get a marble conference table? It's just like every other fucking marble clays. Like you could get one custom made. You're Kanye West.
Yeah. But anyone know where I can get a marble conference table? I'm looking to have a conference.
Yeah,
but not till I get the table.
Yeah.
just shit like that.
But that was more like, that's just funny. That's just pandering funny shit. Like,
that is funny, but also
funny,
very,
Kanye.
very like self-absorbed.
Self-indulging, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But as that continued to, you know, anyway, I remember Kanye West on the fucking telethon after Hurricane Katrina, and I could see that look in his eye. He was standing there next to Mike Myers. I saw there was something in his eyes, and he was gonna say something. I didn't know what it was, but I knew in my heart, it was like, Kanye, don't do it. Don't do it, Kanye. And then he says, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Do you remember that moment?
I do remember when he said that.
George Bush doesn't. I remember that shit. I was riding for Kanye. And then 2016 onward happened. And I was like, God.
Uh-oh.
Kanye is like that one uncle you have that has problems. Like he has like a drug problem or something, and you love him because he's your uncle. But like, you know, he used to take you fishing when you were a kid. He'd take you to McDonald's afterwards. Like, yeah, that's Uncle Joe. He's the shit. And then you get a little older and you realize like he's had a woman across town and a whole secret family for like years, you know, and he also like smokes crack often.
A lot.
Like all the like this is a whole ass
like
problem.
all the fucking time.
Yeah, and then he ends up like going to jail or something, and you're just like, holy fuck!
Uncle Joe,
no
really?
This is Uncle Joe. This is Uncle Joe that like, you know, taught me how to spiral a football and shit. Like this is just like, you know, I grew up with this man. I love this man. Like how. So yes, you still have those feelings toward those fond memories with you and your Uncle Joe, but you know, maybe Uncle Joe has some controversial views about Jewish people. You know, like it's hard to distance yourself from that. So
it's hard to look at Uncle Joe the same as soon as he starts saying, as soon as he starts quoting Hitler and it starts becoming gospel to him. It's like,
yeah.
I think Joe's starting to have those funny feelings again in his head.
Yeah. You know, saying, you know, Sam Harris has some good ideas. Like
that, yeah. Anti-Semitism really goes well with what happened in Nick Cannon, but I mean, we don't have to talk about it.
We'll get into that a little later. So,
you really served that one up well.
Yeah. But so anyway, you go on, right? And you start noticing a pattern with Kanye. Kanye's like peak manic episodes happen like 3 occasions, okay? One, around the time of his mother's birthday, his mother passed away, which this newest episode happened about, his mother's birthday was the week before. Mm-hmm. 2, anniversary of his mother's death, he usually, when he has in the past, like it's been around that time. In fact, last time he went to the hospital during like the St. Pablo tour, it was like probably a couple days after the anniversary of his mother's death. And then
within like 2 days, wasn't it?
It was something like that. It was like really close to it. And then 3 is he's in album mode. And my theory is that when Kanye's working on new music, he probably, if he's even on medication, he probably stops taking his medication
because it ruins his creativity.
It ruins his creativity. And one thing I read about people that are bipolar is that oftentimes they mistake their manic episodes for like real intense bursts of creativity. Mm-hmm. So they get into like this heightened state and like they have so many ideas about the world. And what if to solve the world trash problem, we threw a bunch of Jell-O pudding in there, in that giant floating mass of trash in the middle of the ocean that's the size of Texas. We mix it in with a bunch of Jell-O pudding so we can easily scoop out all the plastic instead of it moving everywhere. We try to scoop it all out, and then we can also use it, filter it out, and then use that Jell-O pudding to solve world hunger. Like shit like that is, you know,
that sounds legitimately
like a good idea. It sounds like a terrible idea.
Guess it depends on what flavor.
Yeah, but shit like that is like, you know, what's going through someone's mind. Yeah. But shit like that is what's just these rapid fire, you know, that is mumblings.
A man thought of that.
Yeah. Just these rapid fire things, and it's just coming and coming and coming, and you can't control it. So it seemed like earlier this week, Kanye, after his campaign rally, where first he starts talking about Harriet Tubman, and then he started crying about how he almost killed his daughter because when he found out his wife was pregnant, he ooh, that was a nice one.
Thanks.
But yeah, when he found out his wife was pregnant, he wanted to have his daughter aborted. and they decided not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into full on like sweaty face, just
Sweaty
wet ass
face.
face, like
Yeah, just
public crying, running for president.
Yeah, I think
As
we're losing.
Kanye.
Everyone's gonna get $1 million. Kanye's saying shit now.
Yeah, like, dude, come on, bro. Like, just wet in the face and what's
Over
going on, man?
promising, crying,
yeah,
hard.
and I'm sure you watched it.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm sure you watched it.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, Kanye's off the wagon again, man.
And I was like,
Only a matter of time.
Yeah, he's also in album mode. So
yeah.
I also think there's a lot of propaganda to it. I mean, the man quoted in his songs that he called the paparazzi on himself. That's not a lyric that comes from creativity. That comes from real life. He definitely calls the paparazzi on himself.
Absolutely. But I think that there's kind of a method to that madness. Is when you call them on yourself. I mean, So Fresh, I call the paparazzi on myself. Ooh. But when you schedule those events, it's better than them like following you and shit.
I'm curious to hear this episode back to see if there's any audio, if it's just farts.
There's gonna be 90% farts, 30% property damage.
It's a good name for the episode.
Yeah.
90% fresh farts.
90% fresh farts from Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, basically. Certified fresh farts.
But Kanye went on a Twitter rant. What was it, Monday night or Tuesday night?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, and he was basically talking about how
late Monday. I guess
late
early
Monday.
Tuesday morning. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about how the movie Get Out is about him. Kris Jenner wants that Kanye. He almost killed his kids. He needs his kids living next to him. E-News can't dictate his life anymore. Shit like that.
Yeah. I love the family photo of West children will never do Playboy.
Yes. West children will never do Playboy, which is also another symptom you see, though, with people that are really struggling with mental illness is when they take a hard turn into religion.
Yeah.
That's another symptom.
But like all the shit that he was tweeting just about like Kim went to go meet up with Meek Mill in a presidential suite. And I'm just like, yes.
And then he put in quotes a prison reform talk.
A prison reform talk.
Yeah. He was like, I've been trying to divorce her for years. Shit like that.
So there's that. Calls Kris Jenner a white supremacist. Like just And I'm just like, I am here for it. Please put this shit in my veins. Like I just woo. I want to live in Kanye's brain for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Anybody want to live in my ass? Jesus Christ.
This whole episode is one giant fart joke.
That one even startled me. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple that I just like I don't think are coming, and then they do, and I'm just like, whoa.
they just swiggle out of you.
It's like it's like when you're out in the ocean and that wave comes crashing a little harder than you were expecting. You're just like, whoa.
Oh man. So Kanye, Dave Chappelle went out to visit him.
Yeah. How awkward was that video?
That video was I'm surprised he posted it. That video was
it's
so
probably the
fucking
only
awkward.
Video that Dave let him shoot. He goes, I got 5 minutes, motherfucker.
Yeah. I feel like Dave just showed up and at first they're standing there like they're supposed to be posing for a picture. And then Kanye's like, yeah, my man Dave came out to visit me, make sure I was good. And then Dave was like, I'm glad you're good, man. I just want to come check on you. And then Kanye was like, tell us a joke. And then Dave was like, I mean, fuck you want me to say? It was the most awkward and painful video. Like, we should all laugh.
It's just like, okay, Kanye.
All right, man.
Was that a paid performance by Dave Chappelle? Like, do you think was like, I'll just give you like $50,000 if you just show up right now?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think Dave. I don't think Dave would just show up. I think Dave honestly genuinely cares about Kanye.
I do, because if you notice, like you watch early Chappelle show,
he loves Kanye.
Yeah. Like they're
like legit. But like, I feel like Dave. I mean, Dave Chappelle had his own. He wasn't like a manic depressant. He just had his own episode of just trying to get away from like the limelight because it became too much for him. But Dave Chappelle is never going to be a person that changes reforms for anybody. I mean, he is who he is. Like,
Dave Chappelle's Dave Chappelle.
That's what's made him so incredibly successful.
Yes,
it's just like, it's like this is Dave Chappelle. Like this is just this is who he is.
But
no.
Here's the thing, though. Dave Chappelle is free, and Dave Chappelle can say whatever he wants. And if Dave Chappelle gets on stage and says some controversial shit, Dave Chappelle doesn't get fired. Okay?
Yeah, but his job is to say controversial shit.
Exactly. Nick Cannon, on the other hand.
Nick Cannon, this is a good segue.
Okay.
He thinks he could say some controversial shit, and CBS was like, nah, son.
And here's the thing, though, is Nick Cannon didn't say it in the right way, or any of his shit in the right way. It was pretty terrible.
No. Do you have like actual quotes pulled up?
I can pull up some quotes. Yeah. Let's see. What did he say?
That was some pretty off-color stuff. Really, regardless of what platform you're on, or like how powerful or say how important you are, you just can't really say any of that.
No.
Even like in a regular conversation with people.
Not at all. Well, I'm looking for the quote of what he said. I'm just looking for the quote. Nick Cannon and his anti-Semitic comments.
I can't believe he's not even 40 yet.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but it makes sense when you think about it.
The fact that he was also married to Mariah Carey for 8 years. That's another thing. You can't, so when he was married to Mariah Carey, he was 27 years old.
Wow.
I mean, all I can think of is he must have had some nice dickles. That's the only thing I can imagine. Mariah just needed to get worn out a couple of times in her age. She's like, I just need to be just put it on me a couple of times, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. Well, he was interviewing Professor Griff from. Let's see. Well, basically, he was interviewing Professor Griff from Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Who, let's be honest, has already been kind of known to, talk about some things that are kind of far out there. And basically, Nick Cannon got into talking about, and I can't find the actual quotes. Let me see what I can find, though, if I can search it on YouTube. But he said some things about Jewish people. And that's what he also said some stuff about white people, but no one cares about white people. He got in trouble for what he said.
Everyone's a white person. Yeah.
No one cares about Nick Cannon interview. Let's see. What'd he say? Okay. And then the next episode, he has a rabbi on. Of course, which I'm actually interested in listening to that. But where is this? Nick Cannon. Professor Griff. What did he say?
He really got mad because they wouldn't give him the rights to Wildin' Out. And he says that it's my $1 billion brand.
Right. Billion, I don't know.
I mean, I gotta give him some. Yeah, I gotta give him some credit though. He gave some legitimately very good comedians their start and Wildin' Out. There's some really good comics that are working there right now that I think they're doing it for good work.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was saying that he's given some really good comics their start on Wildin' Out, just to give them an opportunity to
Absolutely.
do their thing. So I think, and I said there's some very good ones that are still doing work for him there or work there. So I can't really say anything. I think it's good, humble, honest work.
Absolutely. But
But
yeah, I'm still looking for what he said.
it had something to do with just like.
Well, he brought up I can't find it specifically what he said, but when he was talking about Jewish people, he specifically brought up the Rothschilds and world banking, and
Yeah, it had.
the
Like I say,
problem
it had a lot
is
to do
that
with like the ownership of the like. Oh, it's not like owning banks, right? What was something along those
yeah,
lines?
yeah. And the problem is on the surface, I didn't really, and I kind of had to re-examine my own biases because I didn't realize why that was offensive.
Yeah, because because most people joke about that shit all the time.
Right. But you don't
Like they're
realize
just like,
why that's dangerous. And what I had to realize was, okay, the Rothschilds, for example, which are this powerful banking family in in Europe or whatever. And people always talk about them, and I guess they happen to be Jewish. Well, basically post World War I Germany, their entire situation, why Germany was so fucked up in the first place, gets blamed on the Rothschilds.
Mm-hmm.
How they made some deal that completely fucked over the Germans. And that's the theory that's out there, what happened. So because of that, the Nazi power was able to rise to power by basically blaming all of Germany's situation at that time on the Jewish people. And that led to them killing and, rounding up and putting all the Jews in internment camps. So basically they play off of this stereotype of, Jewish people being greedy and, Jewish people just want to take everything around them and they won't settle until they have it all, and because of that, they need to be exterminated. Like it's a slippery slope. So, and that was something that I didn't quite understand. So I see why the logic of what Nick Cannon said is dangerous.
But it's dangerous from somebody in the position that he's in.
Yes,
like
very.
He's employed by so many people, and he's contracted by like the largest broadcasting corporations in the world.
Yes,
that like you can't even say the most off-color shit.
No,
you just can't say it.
And here's the thing: if you say shit like that, and I've heard people saying shit like, well, they fired him that quickly. And it's like, listen, if Ryan Seacrest were on a podcast saying shit about black people, gone. Like his radio show is gone tomorrow. If he says,
because of all the shit people brought him up on, as far as like the Me Too stuff, the fact that he's still as out in the open in Hollywood as he is just shows how much clout he has and how much power he has over everybody still.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is that if the thing about the Me Too stuff that gets kind of weird is that a lot of it is kind of he said, she said stuff. So it's not the same as like, here's an hour and a half long interview you did where you were on tape basically saying some dog shit, some dog whistle racist stuff. So that's kind of the difference there. But what I was getting at though is how you've got people that are talking about the Nick Cannon situation saying like, well, if the Jews didn't have so much power, why did Nick Cannon get fired so quickly? And it's like, I mean, Nick Cannon is a very, very well-known media personality. He's on America's Got Talent.
I'm pretty sure
if he fucks up, if he says anything off color, he's gone. And he just did.
I had this joke the other day, and I was just like, I'm pretty sure that Nick Cannon hosts 50% of talent shows in America right now.
Absolutely. Nick Cannon's everywhere.
Even the shitty ones with the masked singers.
It's a very, very like tightrope he has to walk, where if he says anything remotely offensive, he's gone. And it doesn't matter who it's about. So, and that's why I brought up the Ryan Seacrest example. If Ryan Seacrest on his radio show said something offensive about black people, he's gone tomorrow. Because, he's supposed to be that wholesome, Drive at 5 radio host guy, AM radio guy. Nick Cannon is kind of supposed to be that too. but yeah, but I mean, Nick Cannon touching on, and there were also some other conspiracy theories he touched on. But yeah, you still there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, you disappeared on me.
Why am I still? Oh, the video go away?
Yeah, the video went away.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's okay, boo.
I must have hit a button.
Oh, it's okay. So yeah, but yeah, I
But
thought
it's been a very trying week for predominant black culture. Like it's just
what between Nick Cannon and Kanye West.
It's the perfect juxtaposition of bad rapping and good rappers.
Bad rappers and good rappers.
Yeah, good juxtaposition of funny people and not funny people. And I'm saying Kanye is funnier than Nick Cannon.
Yeah, but listen, man, Gigolo slaps
Kanye as a manic bipolar episode is 10 times funnier than Nick Cannon.
Kanye having a manic bipolar episode is extremely interesting.
Unbeknownst to him, when he said Kris Jenner is a white supremacist, I fucking lost it. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the most outlandish shit. And how anybody could take this seriously is crazy, one. But two, cannot find the funny in this. You have no soul.
Yeah, no, there's definitely funny, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm worried about my uncle, the drunk one with the second family.
I should call Uncle Joe.
Yeah, I should call Uncle Joe. Just shoot him a text. Yeah. I don't want to be on the phone with him too long though. Just send him a quick, like, you good?
Yeah. Don't want to stay on the phone with him too long. He's gonna start going on those conspiracy theories again, and
be on the phone with him all day. He's gonna be talking to me about how, I don't know. He'll probably come up with some sort of conspiracy theory. He was like, "Man, Nick Cannon did nothing wrong," like some shit like that.
He's one of the 5G tower guys.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
These towers.
5G tower. Yeah, 5G towers are killing people, right? This coronavirus thing ain't real.
The places where COVID hit the hardest, they got 5G. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's weird because it's funny because like I just watched John Oliver's thing about conspiracy theories. And
yeah.
It literally is the census map, and it's the map based on dense populations.
Yeah, it is.
It's like and it's like okay, yeah, of course. And like I love a good conspiracy theory just as much as the next guy. I really do. I'm more of a sensible thinker, and I can't believe how easy it is, but it's literally dense populated big cities put 5G towers in to essentially cater to I think just cater to the clientele, the amount of people that live in that area. You want to sell more 5G networks, phones, and wireless plans. You put it in the places where the most people are.
Well, also, New York, it's easier to put 5G nodes in New York because, they've got the infrastructure. Just the way 5G is built. So millimeter wave 5G for the uninitiated boys.
Oh, God, are we doing this right now? We're doing fiber?
We're going to get real nerdy here. So the way it works is in order to support millimeter wave 5G speeds, which is the absolute fastest 5G speeds, you need these little towers that you have to have several of them set up in a small area.
By little, how big is little?
They're not very big at all. I mean, one of them is probably about a foot, about a wood tall.
About a wood tall? Okay.
Yeah, about a wood tall. And they set them up on the pole, on the cell tower, right? And basically, the reason why they call it millimeter wave is because the wavelength of these 5G signals is very, very small. They don't travel very far at all. So, like, they actually die pretty much through, like, brick buildings and trees and shit like that. So they need a lot of them set up in order for you to get these. So they basically, in major cities, they're putting them all over the place. They're putting them as many places as they possibly can. And it's going to take a very long time to do it. It's easier to do it in a very big city where there's shit everywhere than it is to do it in, like, the middle of the country. So because of that, cell tower technology is going to spread faster. Also, there's, like, shit in between that you can, like, hook into. where you can't really do that out in the middle of the country. You know?
Yeah.
There are certain perks and benefits to living in a place where like a lot of people live. But also there's
also some downfalls, like easily transmittable diseases.
Yeah, because y'all live on top of each other. It's just life, you know? So I had a segue and I lost it. I don't even know what happened.
I blacked out. What happened?
I blacked out. What happened? You fart again?
No, I just sent 26 tweets.
Wow. Okay.
No,
okay.
I did not send 26 tweets.
I sent 26 tweets. My mother-in-law is a white supremacist, and she's not.
Yeah.
And
also, there's new reports coming out that Antonio Brown's going on an Instagram raid on Roger Goodell.
Oh, he is?
The Kanye West of the NFL, Antonio Brown.
Oh my God, no, he's not. Don't give him that.
I mean, if we're talking about just like, I don't think he's just an egomaniac. So
yeah.
Who would be the Kanye West of the NFL?
The Kanye of the NFL?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lawrence Taylor?
No, he'd have to be a totally like self-obsessed egomaniac.
We need to be Todd Marinovich, who actually I think had bipolar disorder.
I'd say like Tom Brady.
No.
Yeah. TB12? Come on now. Come on now.
No.
Yes.
But are you talking about from a greatness perspective?
Greatness. Tell me Tom Brady doesn't smell his own shit. He's not drinking his own Kool-Aid. He's not arrogant. He's not arrogant enough to think that he can take one of the worst franchises in NFL history and make them a winning team.
Tom Brady did not go to Tampa Bay for a lineage thing. He went to Tampa Bay because they're fucking talented, and they are. Here's a good argument. If you want to leave on a sports argument, here's a good one, because I've been hearing this argument and everyone's been kind of like combating me on it. Okay, when Indianapolis tanked, when Peyton Manning got hurt, was it that 2011 season, and he went to Denver. Why did Peyton Manning decide to go to Denver? It wasn't necessarily not the best weather plays, not even really the best organization at that time. He went there because he looked at the roster and said, I like sustainability, and I see good everywhere. Every position is filled is always pretty good. So Tom looked at basically probably got 31 rosters and was just like, I need sustainability. And he looks at every roster and he goes, I get kind of the best of both worlds, because I get Tampa Bay, Florida. I get to live in Florida. I get to, kind of warm weather I always wanted to be.
Yeah, even though I don't think living in Tampa is like a great move right now, but
Well, yeah, because of Corona, but regardless, he's already there.
Yeah.
But also the fact that he looks at it, he goes, look at this offense. I have two all-pro wide receivers. I have my best friend, quote unquote, Rob Gronkowski, who I'm able to get over there for like peanuts.
Yeah.
An offensive line that's sustainable, which is a top 15 offensive line. A defense that has an all-pro at each layer of the defense. He goes, I'm not going to have to shoot out in these games. He goes, I have to ball out a couple of times a year. He goes, I don't even think we're even a 12-win football team. He goes, I look at this team, I go 10-6. We'll get a fucking layup in the playoffs at the beginning, and then we're going to win the whole thing. It's a sustainability move.
First of all, top 15 line ain't good enough for someone who's athletic as Tom Brady.
It is, though.
No, he's not athletic enough.
He is.
He is not athletic
when he
enough.
Gets the ball off in 4 seconds because Chris Godwin's going to be open every chance he gets, and then Mike Evans is going to kill everybody over the top.
Listen, he's not athletic enough, okay?
He's just athletic enough.
He's not athletic enough. He needs a team with a top 5 offensive line. He's not athletic enough. He needs that pocket that is never going to break. He needs that offensive line that's never going to break down. He's not athletic enough. Tom is slow. Yeah, he has ice water running through his veins. He's slow. He's not very limber. Okay?
No, he's a tree trunk.
He's a goddamn tree trunk. He's stiff. It's just,
Like
it's not gonna happen.
Like a wood dick.
Yep, like wood stiff. Actually, that dick does not look very stiff. Just big and menacing.
Big menacing cockles.
It's like a drunk friend falling out of a car.
It's a really good analogy.
It is.
It's just timber.
That's your drunk buddy who's having a rough night.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, you muted yourself. I can't hear you.
What happened, man? Yeah, I had a couple of vodka sodas, and it's like that was just vodka.
Yeah. But to kind of put a bow on Nick Cannon, I mean, he apologized, which is good. But yeah, I think that, and this is one thing I've seen in my feed, is that a lot of people do not realize why what Nick Cannon said is problematic. And to those people, I pretty much got to say, like, do a little research and, compare it to the struggle of black people, for example, right? You take someone like Sam Harris, for example, and he talks about how he'll bring up facts, but then he'll kind of veer off into like things where basically you have to say like correlation is not causation.
Mm-hmm.
So like he'll say something, for example, like okay, black people, well, there are definite differences in like IQ test results between races. And basically, he's hinting at black people score lower on IQ tests than pretty much any other racial group does. But one thing he doesn't take into account is the fact that there's disproportional poverty, which oftentimes, if you live in a very poor neighborhood, your schools suck, And also, he doesn't take into account the fact that race is not actually a thing. It's really like a social construct. So, and even then, if you take every majority of black people in the country, are black Americans specifically are about 75% African, 25% European. So then you have to kind of figure out which side of them is underperforming, because if you take the pure Africans, most of those groups of people in this country that take those same IQ tests, they actually tend to outperform everybody. So does that mean that the white part of the African Americans is actually the dumb part? See what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying, but it's I mean that's the only argument you can really make about it.
Right. So I don't know. But yeah, it made me have to kind of re-examine things. But yeah.
You tend to have to do that a lot nowadays.
Yeah, you kind of do.
It's not even so much a re-examination of people, it's the re-examination of who is saying what.
Who is saying what? Yeah.
Because you always have to you really have to take everything with a grain of salt. You look at the people that say the things from the context of what they do for a living. Yeah. So like when a comedian says something that is like political off-brow, I know it's mostly in a joking undertone, but there is some seriousness to it. But also, like, from his perspective, I think he was really trying to make a joke.
I don't think he was trying to make a joke.
I think, look at with not like that, but I think he was trying to do it more lighthearted than he intended.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realized, fuck, I said something that was definitely not. There was no way you can make that statement lighthearted, regardless of the context you put it in. Like
I don't know. I thought in Nick Cannon's mind, he was really like preaching. Like he was really like telling people, like, this is the world and this is the truth.
I think that there's a little bit of that. I also think there's a little bit of like, I'm kind of silly. So yeah, I think he was trying to do a little bit of both. And he doesn't know how to do it because he's not funny.
Yeah. He's not funny enough. Yeah. Nick, you're not funny enough to do this one, bud. So it's weird.
Like, it's weird because like you are listed as like a comedian, but you're not very funny.
You're not very funny, bud.
It's tough for me. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Now, also you also sent me that Joey Ryan video.
Oh God, it's
where he discusses his Me Too allegations. It's about an hour long. Your audio cut out again.
I keep hitting the mute button. What I'm doing is, hold on.
Now you're muted again. Are you trying to mute when you fart?
Yeah, I have been recently. Some of them have been so loud that I honestly think they're going to ruin the audio, and it's gonna like. You ever think you get to a part in your life when you have to like mute your own farts?
I never thought I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
happy to say that like I've like secluded myself downstairs in my house while like my girlfriend sleeps upstairs, because she would leave me. Like that's how I feel right now. She would just be like, "You're fucking joking, right?"
I can't take these farts anymore. It was like you just had major intestinal surgery. Like things are going to be a little off for a couple days.
Oh no, this is the thing is though. It's funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. Let's do like I said, my transmission is working. I'm just farting more.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. So it's just like if I'm farting a lot, things are usually okay. Like things are running a little better than they should be.
Yeah. It's so like, let's just, it's kind of like when you install new brakes on your car, you got to bleed the lines.
Exactly.
Those little air bubbles come out.
Precisely. It's almost the exact. Yeah, it's almost exactly that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just trying to save everybody's ears because, boys, I care about you, and I don't want you to think any less of me.
We don't want to give you shitty ears.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to have farty ears, but anyway, so yeah, the Joey Ryan thing. So like, I honestly, it came out while I was in the hospital, so I was like, I was watching it. I remember I had my headphones in, I'm watching it, and one of like the nurses came in to like check just like vital signs and stuff, and she kind of just like, so she goes, that guy looks familiar, and I'm like, he's a professional wrestler. She goes, oh, wait a minute. She goes, my boyfriend really likes wrestling. And I go, oh. I go, does he know about this guy? And she goes, what's his name? I go, his name's Joey Ryan. She goes, he's the dick wrestler. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's him.
I was like, you're exactly right. He is the dick wrestler. I said, this guy, oddly enough, has been brought up on several sexual misconduct allegations. Nothing has been proven as of yet. I said, but he put out a 59-minute video. It basically pleading his innocence. And she's like, nobody needs to put out that length of video to plead your innocence. If you're putting it out that much, you're definitely guilty. And I'm like, that's how I feel. Yeah. I was like, if you're expelling too much of your innocence, I think you're trying too hard.
Absolutely.
Like, he could have done that shit in 10 minutes. And like, the dude, fucking Matt Riddle put out a 2.5-minute video on Twitter about his little sexual misconduct, who like legitimately he admitted to cheating on his wife. He goes, I did it. She knows. We're past it.
Yeah.
And he goes, the girl that was bringing him up on it he's like, stop texting me, stop DMing me. He goes, you're the problem now. Like, please stop. He goes, I know what I did. I'm a piece of shit. I get it. And I was like, okay, that's probably the best apology you can come up with. Like, but he goes on, and it's weird though because he like shaved a little, so he's got this like 5 o'clock like pedophile-y mustache or pedophile-y goatee going on, which makes him even more look even more guilty. And I'm just like, I don't trust this guy anymore. Like
Joey Ryan, Jesus Christ! First of all, the video is an hour long. I got about 9 minutes into it.
Did you watch any of it?
I got 9 minutes into it, and I was like, I can't do this
20 minutes
anymore.
in, I had to stop. I got it back in again, and I was like, it's just the same shit over and over. And he just keeps denying, and then he denies, and then he slanders.
Yes, and it was
And I was like, I don't think that's not a good argument.
Yeah, and here's our Instagram DMs, and it's very clear that she was the aggressor in this situation, and it's like, dude, like, come on. So
honestly, like, even if she was the aggressor, like, for you, it could be easily squashed with 2 letters. No.
How did you feel about it though when he said in the beginning of the video that he didn't believe in keeping kayfabe? Because the first thing I thought when he was talking to the camera is he is definitely not living the gimmick right now.
No, he is not anymore.
No.
So the whole the kayfabe thing is so like. I mean, I'm just speaking as I'm speaking as a fan, not as a part of the community.
You're not in life.
There's a place for it. I think kayfabe on television is definitely, you keep kayfabe on TV. You don't break character on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kills the show. It's like an actor on Broadway. If he decides to all of a sudden he goes from Phantom of the Opera and he takes his mask off and he goes, not anymore. Like that's, just stay in the character. Stay in character when the red light's on. Red light turns off, you can be whoever the fuck you want to be.
Yeah.
But also if you want to promote yourself, you want to get yourself over on the internet, you got to live the gimmick a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been watching. I've honestly, like, since I've been home, I've watched wrestling every day this week.
Okay.
There's been a lot of good wrestling on.
So
there's a lot of guys that are just like, that are big. All they know to do is to live their gimmick, and that's how they get over. That's how they sell merch. That's how they that's how they sustain their characters.
Right.
So I mean, there's a place for it.
But just him saying though that he doesn't believe in keeping. So maybe when he says that, he means that when he's not wrestling, when he's not on, he's not on.
Yeah, when he's not Joey Ryan, he's whatever I don't even know his real name.
Probably is Joey Ryan. I don't know.
I think his name is Joe. I think it's Joseph. His actual name is Joseph Ryan Meehan. So it's Joseph. So Joey Ryan goes to Joe Meehan.
Yeah. So he so I guess he just becomes Joe Meehan, and he enjoys comic books and whatever. Like, I guess I can see that. I don't know. I just love the idea of the pro wrestler that's like the Undertaker.
Ric Flair.
Or Ric Flair, who is constantly living the like that's who they are.
Did you actually? So you don't have the WWE network.
No,
I kind of want. I kind of want to send you my credentials so you can like get into my WWE network thing. You got to watch the Undertaker documentary.
Okay.
That they did, The Last Ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking phenomenal, man. If you're all about like living the gimmick stuff. It's just 5 episodes of him like explaining himself all the way through beginning career, end of career.
Really?
It's really good.
I'd be really interested in watching that.
I think, and you can bang it out in an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they just released an episode where he talked about old road stories and how he was like,
I want to hear his road stories.
Do you remember Yokozuna from the 90s?
Yes.
So he used to run with these guys, I think it's the Bone Street Crew.
Mm-hmm.
So it was him, Yokozuna, the guy that played the Godfather, Charles Wright.
Yep.
And then one other guy, I always forget. They always ran together when they were on the road, and they always play cards, and they go out and drink and they fuck around. He tells this one story where they're playing cards. They're in Kuwait, doing a show for the troops, and there's no alcohol allowed in the confines of where they are.
Of course.
So he goes, so they're literally in their hotel room, they're playing cards, and he goes, the Undertaker's like, I got so bored, I got to the point where I was just lighting matches on fire and flicking them at people. And he goes, and I lit a match on fire and I flicked it, and it hit Yokozuna on the back of his head, and we thought it went out. It actually started smoking, and it set his hair on fire. And he goes, and then we got 3 giant grown-ass men that are punching this guy's head to get his fire out.
Oh, man.
I love that shit. More stories like that.
Yeah. I know. That's the type of shit you want to hear. All right. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I am.
Okay.
I'm going to put this one to bed.
All right. Boys.
Let's see how this sounds. Hopefully it's not too farty for you.
Hopefully it is.
All
right, boys. We love you.
Hopefully,
It's been
hopefully
swell.
it is.
Hopefully you re-examine those biases.
It has been swell.
And you live the gimmick. That's all I can ask.
That's what I say. Live your truth. Live your truth. Live your gimmick.
Yes, live your truth. Live your gimmick. Okay, boys.
Love it.
Love it.
All right. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
I love you. Please call me back.